So hello, everybody. What is going on with you? It is me, Demetra K, and I'm sitting here with Donovan and recovering Democrat Saadiq. And it is Sunday, so it must be the Demetra K Show where we promote Black love, knowledge, and understanding of all things that go on in the Black community to make us an even better people, with the emphasis on even, because we are great people, but there's always room for improvement. And so I'd like to say hello and a big giant welcome to YouTube and Facebook, the other side of the conversation. You all are not just viewers, but you are participants, because we feel like you should be heard too. In fact, we believe that this is one of the only shows that reads each and every comment of the viewers, because it's not like y'all just sitting there and watching Donovan and I go back and forth, which we can do with no problem, right? But it's not just about us, it's about you as well. And so also Mark is guiding for everything that he does behind the scenes on Facebook and making the show go further. And so today we're going to talk about a tweet that I saw of Dr. Boyce Watkins. It kind of made me think about some things. And so I want to have you all's input before we get into that. Donovan, what say you?
Yes, it is Sunday, and that means it is March 20th, 2022, 3:07 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, where I'm at, 5:07 where Demetra's at. Hey, you guys, thank you guys for tuning in, doing all that great stuff. Quick question, a reminder. How many of you guys got locked out of your Facebook account this week? Let us know in the comments and the thing. I got locked out. I can't access my Messenger. I can't access my Facebook account. I mean, people are still posting, but I can't get into it. So I might have to do another account. And you might, if you're one of those ones that got locked out, might have to do one as well. This is another way that they are trying to shut down the Black media and getting messages out across the United States. But do us a favor. You know, if you guys don't have anything to do, please like, share, and subscribe, and even become a member of the channel if you got a chance. And if you so like, please donate, because it does take a little time to put these topics and things together. Demetra is up late at night doing all her homework and stuff. So we're going to have a great topic today. We're talking about Dr. Boyce Watkins, and and we're going to see what Demetra has to say about it. So let's get into it. Welcome.
Now, I did not call him that. Donovan did. I called him Dr. Boyce. That is his name. So let me get to you guys' comments before I get started. And I also like to say, for those of you guys on YouTube, you can't see the people's on Facebook comments and vice versa. So if you want to see the comments, you can go. YouTube is usually where most of the people are. So I just want to let you know that. So Moni, what is going on with you and Pioneer? And then Moni says, Demetra, I don't trust Dr. Boyce because he's a snake and a liar. Did you get my email? I did get your email. He says, I hope you and Donovan have enjoyed your St. Patrick's Day weekend. Lots of fun. Much Detroit love to you both. I don't celebrate St. Patrick's Day, but I hope, if you did, you had a great day. And good afternoon to you as well, Pioneer. Thank you so much. And you also say this should be a good show as usual. Laugh out loud. Well, we hope so. And Jerome, how you doing? He says, hey, what that clown tweeted. Oh, Lord. What's going on with you? Hello to you as well. And Prime Minister says, I hope it wasn't anything too silly. Dr. Boyce is my boy. He usually comes with some wisdom. Well, y'all gonna see in just a minute. And Keziah, how you doing? It says shalom. Shalom on to you as well. Prime Minister says, one of these days, Marcus, quote unquote, is gonna have to come on the show. You big up him so much. We got to meet the brother. He came on a couple times before, but yeah, sure. One day we will have him on here. And Bongani, how you doing? It says greetings and salutation, folks. Yes, indeed. And Brother Samuel, so you said, and hello to you, says you did get locked out as well, but you had to do a security reset. Okay. And Miss Anita, how you doing? It says greetings, y'all. What did the tweet say? I'm going to tell y'all. And Yahweh, how you doing? Shalom to you as well. In your world, you say this month they never suspended. Okay. And how you doing if I didn't already? And the Pioneer says, Donovan, when you get a chance, can you explain what happened to you the other day, getting hit in the head with a flagpole and chased out of the city hall by the police? We'll give him a chance to explain that. And Gerard, how you doing? He says, I'm black in the chat. Yes, indeed. Brother Sam, don't pay no attention to Donovan with that moist stuff. I didn't say that he did. Facts Not Feelings, how you doing? He says, peace and love, fam. Get on other platform, guys. Sponsorship is real in the USA. Okay, well, we got to learn more about that. Pioneer says, Dr. Boyce drops some wisdom from time to time, though. Yes, he does. That is true. And Thunder says, what did Boyce do? Don, I'm glad you're okay from that flag and that guy. All right, so let's go ahead and lightweight. How you doing? It says, I see two beautiful people, and we appreciate that, and we appreciate you for being here. All right. So earlier, and actually it was maybe like 30 minutes ago, right? I'm like, what am I going to talk about today? Hi, Gloria and Ironworks. How you doing? I was like, what am I going to talk about today? I'm all tapped out, right? I was doing stories for the African Diaspora News Channel. I had to take a break because I'm like, I can't find anything really, worth talking about. And so I went on to Twitter just for a break, and this came up. He says, young women with no guidance think they want to date Future. And now Future is a rapper, and he, allegedly has a bunch of kids and a bunch of baby mamas and all that kind of stuff. And so he goes on to say, after he beats her ass and abandons her kids, they want Russell Wilson. So Russell Wilson is supposed to be the opposite of Future. He's this upstanding guy. He's a football player. He's at the Denver Broncos. And he's got all this money. He treats Sierra. That is the glue that brings them two together. Sierra has a baby with Future, and she also is married and has children with Russell Wilson. So Russell Wilson is supposed to be the good guy, the knight in shining armor type of guy, right? He's got all this money. He woos Sierra and, just drops down on one knee and, does all these things, right? So I guess the comparison is Future is not so good of a guy. Not my assessment. I'm just telling you what I see. And then Russell is the epitome of good guys. All right. So then it goes on to say all women need male mentorship so they don't ruin their kids' lives in the process. So for those of you guys who may not know who Dr. Boyce Watkins is, he is, I would say, a financial expert in the Black community. Also is a social commentator and author and a whole host of other things. We see him a lot on social media, YouTube. As you see there, he's got a picture with the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. I can't remember exactly what event they were at when they took that picture, but he's also, usually he brings Dr. Claude Anderson on to his show, and they talk about things in the Black community. So Dr. Boyce Watkins, I would say, has an impressive resume, right? But sometimes he kind of gets off the rails and saying some things that kind of makes you raise an eyebrow. And so when I saw this tweet, immediately I thought, well, wow, you have all this admonishment for women, right? So you're talking about Future, and then he says after he beats her ass, and I'm assuming he's talking about a Future, type person, and then abandons her, they want Russell Wilson. So all women need male mentorship so they don't ruin their kids' lives in the process. And I'm thinking, okay, I guess that's true. But what about the men needing male mentorship so that they don't beat her ass and abandon the kids? You know what I mean? So it's like I said, sometimes he says things that are like, what was your board today? Because some of it just sounds like you just kind of maybe reached off and put this together. I don't know, right? But I see a lot of admonishment for women. And listen, I know there's a lot of admonishment for men too, but I'm just speaking about this tweet here. And wouldn't it have been more of a conversation if it would have been even, like men and women need male mentorship? Because I agree, women do need male mentorship. I have a great father who has mentored me, so I can totally agree with that. But on the other hand, I have a great father who mentored my brothers as well. So y'all tell me, am I reaching? Am I being too sensitive? Am I missing something? Donovan, what say you?
Well, you just got done talking to your dad just before you came on the show. What was one of the number one things he said when it comes to his sons? Where did I go wrong with these? Good mentorship with that and everything like that. Now, Dr. Boyce Watkins definitely does give great advice at times, but sometimes it seems like he falls off the rails. Maybe he's something triggered in the day. But when it comes to financial advice, he's pretty sound in what he's talking about and group economics and and speaking that stuff. He recently got married a couple months ago and stuff like that. So, to Alicia, Dr. Alicia Watkins, I guess now is the correct way to talk about her. And, but yeah, everybody's talking about this me versus her ideology, and they just keep it going. Everybody's keeping it going. Men are talking about the women are talking about the men. Well, men have been said, as we've seen in the videos, we did a show on it, of these mothers back in the 1980s. That's almost 40 years ago, saying black men ain't shit. I don't need no man. I can do all this. And it's failing. That ideology is failing. Black men leaving their families, not being men, not, going into the jail system, taking the easy route, selling drugs and stuff like that. That ideology is failing. At the end of the day, I believe the narrative needs to change. Is we need each other, and we need to start hearing that from both sides. This divestment and stuff, black women are getting killed, so on and so forth. So we got to get back to, we need each other, because guess what? If you guys like it or not, statistics show 70% of the Black community, which is 15% approximately of the population of the United States, is failing.
All right, so we're going to see what you all say here. And Rain, love, how you doing? He says, when DMX died, Dr. Boyce tweeted, just say no. I was done with him after that. Yeah, that's very poor taste. You guys know DMX had issues with drugs. And so that's very horrible and of poor taste and bad timing, to say the least. So I agree with you on that. In fact, Not Feeling says censorship, not sponsorship. Okay. Okay. And then Sean, how you doing? And the Pioneer says, Donovan, okay, it seems as if the video you were doing cut off abruptly. I was concerned about you for a minute. I'm glad you were free and on the air now. And J Bubba, how you doing? You say, I agree with this tweet. Okay. Pioneer says, I think he's right. Women need mentors just like men need female mentors. Okay. And Donovan says, I tried to authenticate it, but it won't let me. So you're talking about the logging into Facebook. And Mona says, Donovan, I hope you get an Oriental cat with the big ears. They are so beautiful. Where's your green bear? I'm toasting. Beer. I'm toasting some to you and Demetra, as I always celebrate St. Patty's Day through April. Okay. The Pioneer says, I don't know about Russell Wilson, but I think he's right. That a woman needs male mentorship for balance, just like men need female mentorship for balance in their lives too. It's about balance. So I would agree with that. And Jerome says, ain't Boyce Watkins got kids out of wedlock, just got married? I don't know. I've heard. I believe he does have children outside of the one, outside of his marriage now. So, and Monet, how you doing? And Randy, what's going on with you and Rain? You say, ever since he got his new teeth, wow. Ever since he got his new teeth, he have been talking too much.
Were those new teeth like in the implants, or did he get the veneers?
I have no idea. I have no idea, but yeah, it's like, how you doing, Boyce's teeth? And the Pioneer says, a lot of Black folks don't like Boyce Watkins because he's a Republican and he's a businessman who focuses a lot on capital and making money. They also like to accuse him of cheating people. Well, I don't have any information myself of whether it being true or not, but there are a lot of allegations out there about him not being honest in business. I don't know if you guys got a chance to see that of Miss Michi X. She started off with Dr. Boyce Watkins on Fly Nubian Queen TV or something like that. And, she said that he pretty much stole her name, right? He went and got, you can go on GoDaddy or something like that and bought her name. But she ended up changing it to something else. But she did him one better and went and trademarked all of his stuff. So in order for him to use it, he's going to have to pay her. So I was like, wow. You're talking about...
Well, she learned a lot from him.
Well, yeah, I mean, so as far as it being accusations, yeah, we'll put it out there like that. But I've heard quite a few people, mention that maybe he's not so upstanding in business. So I don't know anything myself. And J Bobby says, well, it's hard to mentor the boys of a single mothers. Okay.
Amen, brother. Amen. I mean, not my baby. You guys seen I'm Gonna Get You Sucker when Jeanette Du Bois, every time he got in Jack Spade got in trouble, his mama showed up. No accountability. And that's why a lot of these young men, these new generation of young men, they have traits of women. They have no accountability for any of the actions that they do.
All right. Well, I'm gonna try to remember that stuff, but I'm gonna just kind of keep going. We say, well, it's hard to mentor the boys of single mothers. Then y'all always know what I'm gonna say. Where they daddies at? How you doing?
Run off, y'all ran them off.
Now, listen, brother, I'm gonna say this to you too, okay? Any woman that's able to run you off from your kids, you ain't a man in the first place, because I'm not saying she should take you through hell and high water, but you should go through hell and high water to be with your kids, or even if it's to the point of putting a white man on her, like she put the white man on you.
Amen. Amen.
Amen. So I said, he's right. The men that you are talking about are usually preferred by women. So you're talking about the futures, and you said who raises the abusive men? Well, I mean, that's a good question. That I would believe that their parents or whoever's their immediate circle of influence. How about that?
Big mama using that old school discipline, putting hands on folks. So that's who's doing it.
I'm gonna keep reading these comments. And Prime says, I don't agree with everything Dr. Boyce says. I definitely don't agree with a lot of his her political views. Okay, and Brother Samuel says, I read once where the word mentor, quote unquote, has a negative origin. If I remember correctly, it comes from an origin where European men took young men into their care that also entailed having relations with them, a European thing. I have heard that as well. Now, how true it is, I don't know. It might be. And Sean says, facts, United States government did a number on our people. You ain't lying. And Rain says, facts, Monet. He says, I know I need a male influence in my life. Men and women do need that balance. Yeah, we do. I mean, it's just a fact, right? And Pioneer says, Donovan is correct. The majority of our community today is in dysfunctional position. A lot of our people are so dysfunctional that they don't even know what functionality is, even when it's pointed out. And that is true as well. And Moni says, Mr. Watkins is not in no position to talk because at the end of the day, it's been reported how he exploits Black people, have to jump on quite a few women that has been involved with. I don't trust a liar. Okay, so you've heard some things as well. And Go Chi, I hope I said that right. How you doing? He says, what did Dr. Boyce say that was wrong? He goes in on men and the need for them to be good fathers all the time. Okay. And I will say that is true. I have seen him say that. But in relation to this tweet, I just kind of like, you know, for me and me being a woman, when I see that kind of stuff, I just think that is one-sided, right? I mean, you know, all women need male mentorship, which is true. But it's like when you say on the next sentence above that, after he beats her ass and he abandons the kids, they want Russell Simmons. But it's like, where is all of the admonishment, you know, for the men who were doing that kind of stuff, you know? So I'm not saying that he never admonishes men, but I'm speaking of this tweet specifically. And our Neba, I hope I said that right, says, how you doing? Says, Brother Watkins is a great asset to our rise. Okay, in fact, Not Feeling says, don't like Boyce too much. He is way too pro-cop. Oh, so is he? And Moni, he said, Donovan, you already have to be careful when dealing with the police, as you know. Is her all right attack on the innocent Black man and Black woman, which is a shame. I'm glad you're okay. I adore you. Okay. Hey, Al, how you doing? He says, how long will the black screen be up? Oh, hey, y'all want me to take that down? Okay, got you. How about that? Pioneer. And you say a lot of our people are cheated, but a lot of our people are so stupid and miseducated that they don't know how to read or abide by contracts or business rules and think they're being cheated. Nah, you got to read the fine line, read the contract. And if you can't read the contract, go to a contract lawyer or somebody who is more versed at understanding contracts. I mean, most people, even people who have money and certain things like that, they hire contract lawyers because there's always that little something. Oh, I didn't see that, but it's in the contract though. So,
right, like a good example, like I'm in litigation right now, and I spent a whole bunch of money hiring attorneys and filing paper. Just to file the paperwork was a small fortune, right? And the thing is, by getting the attorney and getting the right people, I'm going to save money in the long term versus going in there, messing it up, trying to do it myself or going the cheap. So yeah, I mean, and especially when it comes to these contracts, you look at the artists and the athletes who lose so much money because they didn't read the fine print when you could have just gone and go ahead and paid that little, let's say $20,000 to get the contract lawyer to go over the thing fine combed versus, but then you hear the people losing 32 million stolen from them down the road, you know?
Absolutely. And Monet says, seems like nobody likes Boyce, laugh out loud. He has been talked about so much. I don't follow or listen to him. To me, I don't think it's an issue of me not liking him or liking him. I think he offers a lot of valuable advice to the Black community. I just kind of got somewhat of a salty taste in my mouth about Dr. Boyce when he went after Lizzo as much as he did. Now, I want to preface it by saying this. I'm not saying I agree with what Lizzo does. I think she should put some clothes on. And I think that's true for any woman running around the planet naked or close to it, right? But I just didn't like how he bullied her. You know, it's one thing to kind of mention, oh, well, you know, maybe she shouldn't do this, but it was just on and on and on and bullied her. So I believe he got her attention and she was very, you know, bothered by that. And I'm like, well, what you're doing is not helpful. It's you're bullying her and that's not okay. And then try to dress it up into, you know, I'm trying to be helpful. But it's like you're not being helpful. You're bullying her. And I also had a problem with him being married to, I guess she's a psychologist, and she didn't seem like she had a problem with him doing that to Lizzo. So I didn't like that. Not to say that I like what she's doing, but I just didn't like that. All right. So and Ridiculous Thoughts, how you doing? He says, wow, she did Sarai Lannister on Boyce. And well, who is that, by the way? And Thunder says, man,
yeah, that's Cersei. It didn't mean Cersei. Is that how you say it? Cersei.
Oh, I'm sorry. Cersei Lannister.
Yeah,
so sorry
Lannister.
about that. Who is that, by the way? And Thunder says, man's mentorship is needed in the Black home. He doesn't need to be perfect. He needs to be a good man and a strong man. The son needs to see an example of what to be and the daughter of what to demand. I love that. And I totally agree with that. And Ironwork, you say Dr. Boyce has his set of standards. He has a good heart in him for our people. We need dialogue with him if we don't agree and see where we can agree and disagree. I mean, I agree with you. I'm not saying I think Dr. Boyce is a bad person, even though I've seen a lot of people, you know, say certain things. And I don't think anybody is perfect. I'm just talking about the tweet that he made. And in all fairness, Dr. Boyce Watkins talks about everybody under the sun. I mean, everybody, you know, and so I don't know. Anyway, let me get to this. But I agree. He has a lot of value to offer to the Black community. And Yahweh says Black men and women have to take accountability for their lives in order to have strong homes. Parents must be willing to teach appropriate behaviors to the little ones. This begins with a change in mindset in the Black society. So you are absolutely correct. And Jafia, how you doing? And I says the fathers are usually thugging where they were when, oh my God, when the women first chose them. Wow, well, you know what? You might be on to something. And I Thunder says CMB, we all we got. Yes, indeed. New Jack City reference there. And Martin says Donovan, the Caucasian world broke up the beautiful Black family starting in the 50s. It got worse in the 60s and 70s. And what we have now is a disaster. We have to come together, love, support us.
Was it just the 50s or was it when they brought us here?
Correct. And Gloria says, say it, Demetra, I agree. Can't no woman run a father away from his child. Nah, I mean, I don't believe that, because I hear men say that a lot. Well, she pushed me away. The way she was behaving. Nah, put the white man on her like she put the white man on you. To take her ass to court and get some custody or whatever, right? And Arniba, you say Michi X is an agent. So I don't know. You know, I don't follow a lot of people in how can you say, our community with a lot of the podcast stuff. I just know of her. I remember when she first came on the scene, and I forget what it was she was talking about. I think it was Bill Cosby or something. And she was very vehement about sticking up for him, if I remember right. But if she's an agent or not, I really don't know. I wouldn't even have any insight to that at all. And Monet said Michi says she has a documentary coming out about Dr. Watkins in the fall. See, I don't know. You know, I don't know.
Here's my thing. Okay, if we have a disagreement with a person, why is it that in our community we just can't let stuff go and just go on about our separate ways? Demetra and I don't get along in regards to certain things, but we move, once that subject is over, we keep moving past that. But I just happen to notice certain groups of us can't let shit go.
Yeah, that's kind of the problem that I have within our community, which is why I don't really claim the conscious community. Not that I'm not conscious. I just don't claim it in the way that it's been presented now. There's a lot of infighting going on between this leader leader, that leader. This person wants to be well known for doing this. You got this section of Black Americans, and you got this section of Black Americans. It reminds me of the Dr. Seuss thing where I forget what they were called.
Yeah, you had the spot on this one, and one didn't have the spot.
The stars upon stars. Yeah. This one had 2 stars. That one had 3 stars. And it's like, oh my God, really? And Pioneer says, also, you can use the word Caucasian in the YouTube chat. Now, a few months ago, they were banning it and erasing posts with the word in there. Yeah, it seems like they've changed up a little bit. Why, I don't know, but still, proceed with caution. And Stan, how you doing? He says, having 2 daughters, I realize how patriarchal this society is. Being the first man in their lives, I treat them the way I want any man in their life to. I bring chivalry, but not male chauvinism. And so you have made an important part. As the first man in their life, they will more than likely expect to be treated by men by the way you treat them as their father. And I don't think a lot of fathers really realize that. The examples that you show your daughters, they're probably going to look for that in men. So be careful, right? And J Bubba says, we say, where's the daddy at? Future has 9 kids. What does that say about the other 8 women he knocked up? Our women keep sleeping with the same man, then want to ask where the daddy at? No, I mean, you make an excellent point. I never got that either. I say like, okay, yeah, you become the 2nd, 3rd baby mom. Is not too unusual, but the 4th, 5th, the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, it's like, well, what about you becoming the 9th or the 8th or the 10th baby mama made you think that he wasn't going to do the same thing with you? Like, did you have the magical, you know what I mean? I don't know.
Right. Or reverse it. Who's that idiot Tristan, the basketball player that just had a baby with the one chick? And this chick doesn't have a job or whatever, but she demands $40,000 a month in child support, $2,000 in dining expenses, and so on, so forth. So what I'm saying is I'm reversing it, saying that, like I said, it's on both sides. You got idiots on this side, and you got delusional people on this side, Yeah,
I get it. And yeah, I know you're talking about Tristan Thompson. He's, with Khloe Kardashian, and he's a serial cheater and all of that. And he, they say, I don't know if it's written in stone yet, but he's looking at paying the new baby mama $47,000 a month. He has to pay $1 million in her legal fees. And I'm like, good for him. You know why I say good for him? Is because you're out there pursuing raw fish. And then when you produce some little guppies, very expensive guppies, and then you want to be mad about but to your point, and to J Bubba, your point about, women pursuing that, the women who are pursuing him, they know that's his MO, but they also know that they can get a bag out of him too. So I don't know. It is really crazy. And Arnibia says, no one likes Boyce. We conscious brothers love Boyce. I mean, I didn't say anybody didn't like him. I like Boyce. I just think,
I love his financial advice. I mean, he does make sense sometimes, and he does give us the tips ahead of time to let us know.
Yeah, I just didn't like him, going after Lizzle with such venom, to try to pass it off as I'm trying to help her. It's like, are you really though? And the Pioneer says, I was listening to a show the other day with a bunch of brothers talking business, and one of them busted out and claimed that contracts are evil and come from the devil. Yeah, and he's probably got, burnt for a whole lot of stuff in business because he didn't have a contract. Mr. Pinebrand, how you doing? He says, Boyce Watkins' wife didn't marry him in college when he wanted her, but then played the cleanup man when she had her kids. Yeah, I mean, I've heard all that too. I mean, they're in love with each other, and sometimes things happen for people later in life rather than sooner. Maybe they wouldn't have stayed together if they got together when they were younger. I don't know. I'm not that deep off into what they're doing, right? And Thunder says men need to pick a woman who knows she's a woman and conducts herself like a woman and wants to be treated like a woman. Most importantly, she wants and needs a man and wants to be with a man who's a man. I love it. I wish I could just post that comment everywhere because it's absolutely true. I totally agree with you. And the Pioneer says, I like Boyce too. I wouldn't consider him a mentor of mine, but I think he's good. His good outweighs the bad. No, absolutely. I love the fact that he has given, not that Dr. Claude Anderson didn't have a platform, but he's brought him more to the forefront, bringing him on his shows and waking people up and educating people and really just introducing Dr. Claude Anderson to people who ordinarily would never have known about him, right? So I do love that. And Tiffany, how you doing? It says Michi is sketchy and uncouth. Well, I have to take y'all word for it. Like I said, I don't know a whole lot about her. I've seen some things. I just be personally try to not get involved in all of the dynamics of the Black YouTube stuff. I mean, because I see people fighting with everybody. I'm like, is that helpful to Black people that we are fighting with each other? And I'm not saying some of it is not warranted, but it just seems like it's constant. So it really makes you wonder, what is this really about? Pioneer says, Dr. Umar Johnson and Boyce Watkins are against each other too. One of the things we as Black folks have to learn to do is how to still support the leaders of our community, even when they turn on each other. Yeah, absolutely. And then try to encourage them to knock it off. Because I think that's what good people should do, and say, hey, we are better together. Y'all, you have this set of information we need, and you have this set of information we need, but y'all arguing over silly stuff. And then other people who don't have the knowledge that they have, they get into the dog pile and it just blows all over the place, and it's a mess.
Yeah, many roads to the same destination, basically, is the theory.
Yes, indeed. Marcus, thank you so much. And if you guys are on YouTube and you are seeing this somewhere and you want us to read your comment, click on the link, and I would love to do that. And thank you so much, Marcus. And Rain says, I heard that he is a crook and everybody and their mama is saying it. Well, yeah. I don't have any personal intel on that, but that's what the word on the street is. And that's really far as I can go with it, because I don't have any personal experience with that at all.
Well, you know what's funny, real quick, so we got to keep up with the comments, is, okay, the biggest grift that has ever happened to the Black community happened with Black Lives Matter. Nobody's making a complaint about that. Where'd the money go? You know what I mean? So it's amazing.
It is one of the biggest grifts other than slavery. And that messy-ish, how you doing? He says, it can happen. My brother got full joint custody. Keep your receipts. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So don't be talking about, oh, she won't let me, and she just ran me away. Nah, brother. Tie her ass up in court too. She ain't the end all be all.
Right. Well, the good thing, brothers, as more and more women are entering the workforce, as what I think is ridiculous to even do that, they're making more money than us, and they're getting all these degrees and doing all that. The court system, the laws haven't changed. So as you see, look what happened to Mary J. Blige. Look what happened to that one fat chick. I mean, the laws are basically...
What fat chick?
What was that one chick? She looks like Lonnie Love, but she was married, and they had a surrogate son, a baby, and then the guy left her.
You talking about Sherry Shepherd?
Sherry Shepherd. You know, all these laws, they're there, and because they're not changing and they're not fair. I'm not saying the laws are right; they're not fair. As everybody is getting what's coming to them. So it is what it is. I hate what happened to Mary J. Blige, but that's what happens when the laws are not fair.
Ciela Trey, how you doing? Also known as Mr. Research TV. Glad to see you here. Pioneer says, I like both Michi X and Dr. Boyce, even though Michi hates Boyce. Laugh out loud. We as a people need to stop being so tribalistic and learn to take the good of all of our leaders instead of taking sides. Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, but like I said, I kind of view YouTube and certain other aspects of social media as gangs, right? It's like, you know, we taking this side and we taking that side. It's like, grow up, really. And that messy issue say, full joint legal, gotta ask by name. Absolutely. You gotta know your rights, but just be running around talking about, well, she won't let me, so I'm gonna come back in 18 years. That's not how that works.
Or I'm paying child support, she won't let me see my kids. Do you guys know, depending on what state you're in Georgia, that don't matter. If she has custody, you have to file for your rights as a father. So it doesn't matter. They can make you pay child support, and that woman has all the jurisdiction in the world. Doesn't matter that you're paying child support. So look at your state laws, or better yet, abstinence. Just don't get involved.
And Pioneer says, Brother Don, thank you. Why can't so many of our people just let ish go? Too much pettiness and squabbling like the little children. It's a sign of immaturity, very much so. Deja, how you doing? Long time no see. Says, way too much division. You guys are right. Yeah, I mean, we need to just knock it off. And Tips Tops, how are you? Says, I don't dislike Michi, just some of the people she follows, like Tommy Sotomayor and Cynthia G.
Hey, don't be talking about my Bishop Tommy. Don't talk about Bishop Tommy. But no, real quick though. Deja, I met her her man and stuff. Young dude. Deja's a cougar now. The brother's real handsome and stuff like that. But
why you telling Deja business? Yeah, I mean, I'm not a fan of Tommy or Cynthia G at all, and I don't follow them. I've seen a few things, but yeah, they are very two divisive individuals from my understanding. And that messy is, she says, most of the conscious quote unquote community is grifting ex-cons trying to get laid, or do you mean paid, or both? I can see why you would say that. And Thunder says, I'll keep it simple. Black men, if we choose wisely, there'll be few problems. If she's not wife material and you don't want a family, don't lay down with her. Period. End of discussion. You can cut it off at the source by not engaging. And J Brown, how you doing? It says, Michi X is associated with Tommy Sotomayor. Tommy Sotomayor is the demon who threw a death party for Kanika Jenkins. Yeah, he's not a good dude. I had to unbrainwash Donovan from following Tommy Sotomayor. I think he's doing all right now.
I followed Tommy for the comedy aspect of it because, I mean, it was funny to me. I'm talking about in the early days. So
you should put the recovering Tommy Sotomayor protege. How about that? And hey,
well, he's doing OnlyFans now. So guess what? Everything paid off for him.
People paying for him to watch that. Donovan, you've been over there seeing what Tommy's over there doing. What's he over there doing?
You told me he was doing OnlyFans.
Hey, Sunlight, how you doing? And Don, how you doing? I have not forgot the moderator thing. I swear I'm going to get the moderator thing going up. I low-key did kind of forget up until now, though. I'm going to be honest with you. Anyway, he says, hey, Demetri and Donovan. And Kevin, how you doing? Says, shalom, Demetri and Donovan. And Thunder says, and if you just have to remember, Agnes and Gertrude will never be able to put you on child support. Yeah, their child rearing days are gone, okay? April, how you doing? Long time no see. And yeah, guppies, Deja. I'm just saying, you have to pursue raw fish. And Stan, you say Dr. Boyce and Dr. Umar commonly have a thing about women that rubs me the wrong way. They're extremely judgmental with women as opposed to men. It's hard to follow, even though they provide wisdom. And see, and I'm glad that you picked up what I was putting down. I'm not saying they never admonish Black men, but they're and I would throw Dr. Umar in there as well. Their views on Black women is just so it's almost like kind of one-sided. If y'all would just choose better type of thing. And, you need mentors. It's like we all need mentors, right? Pioneer says, what makes it even worse? A lot of these rich Black male athletes paying all this money in child support are paying it to non-Black women, millions of dollars being drained from the community. Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, that's their choice, though.
Well, you got to think about it like this too, Pioneer. I mean, thousands of millions of dollars would be paid in weaves and stuff like that. So you might as well just throw it out the window. Now,
see, this is another example how you were blaming Black women for him going over there, throwing his money away to non-Black women. See what I'm saying? They say, we can't win. You can win, child.
The Wiz, Michael Jackson on the way to the Wiz. Yeah. You can't get out of the game.
Yeah. And Letitia, how you doing? And you say shalom, Demetri, and a recovering Democrat. And JJ Mars, if I didn't already, hello. He says, Boyce stock market advice is not as good as other YouTubers. I used to watch him, but stopped a couple of months ago. Yeah, there's a lot of people on YouTube who are really changing the game for people and making people rich, and specifically Black young people, right?
Yeah, the good thing about Dr. Watson is because he's a Black man, it's kind of easier to appeal to other younger Black people because, we see one of our own. And, because of him, a lot of young people started getting into stocks that would probably never have done it, versus another group of people giving the same exact advice.
Right. Mr. Pinebrand says, how are you and Donovan doing? I'm doing well. If y'all can't already tell, I got a little cold, I guess. I didn't even realize I had it until I think it was yesterday morning. It's like, oh, I might be sick.
Cold and 80-degree humid weather.
Just odd, right? And that messy issue say we speak on Boyce's romantic situation because it speaks. Oh, let's see. It speaks to self-respect for Black men. And he's trying to act like he's an expert in relationships too. And so I think really that's the issue. Is like, oh, so are you a financial guru, or are you a relationship expert, or are you're targeting Lizzo because she's out of shape and she's gonna die soon? I mean, he said all those type of things. So it's like, what is it really, right? So I mean, I can see that. And Tips Hobbs, you say, nope, not healthy. And Letitia, you say, thanks for clearing things up going on the YouTube streets. Yeah, it's a lot, right? It's a lot of nonsense going on. So I try not to get involved in a lot of it. Piner says, you ask a great question, Queen. Why are so many so-called pro-Black people fighting and squabbling with each other? It sounds like a fight of egos more than actual substance. And that's usually what it is in our community. Somebody got their, ego bigger than this person, or well, I was on the scene first and I was saying this first. And I say to somebody who shall remain nameless, I say, is there really an original thought? Did you really come up with that? Or did you say it a different way that people can understand, right? You got people talking about, they stealing from me.
Better yet, get your hand out of my pocket, nigga. Get your hand out of my pocket.
Right. And Betty Lockett, how you doing? You says, united we stand, divided we fall. As wisdom has told us, I will keep hope alive that even if it doesn't happen in my lifetime, we achieve our goal of the advancement of our people in a positive way. Yes, indeed. I love that. And Deja says, right. Where did the money go? Black Lives Matter. Yeah, and where did Black Lives Matter go? And Easy, thank you so much for becoming a member. I love and appreciate you. And the Pioneer says, if you don't give a nigga everything he wants for free, he'll call you a crook and a con man. A nigga wants something for nothing.
You know what? I have to agree with the Pioneer right there, because that's wisdom speaking. Because how many of us know every time you go somewhere, the brother or the sister always wants to hook up. Always wants to hook up. Always.
Right. And Arniva, you say those that say he's a crook are lazy and just don't want to take responsibility for their own destiny. I mean, that may be true. Like I said, I personally don't have any inside information as to if he's a crook or not. I mean, people could say what they want, but is it true? And I'm not saying it's not. I just personally don't know. So I don't like to really speak on things that I have no firsthand experience with. And somebody says Sherry Shepherd is not fat anymore. Yeah, Donovan. That's why I was like, fat? Go, who? What?
Well, what's the definition of fat? I mean, I still see that skin.
Pretty hot and tempting.
And arm, the skin off the arms and stuff. That's my definition of fat. I'm just saying. I mean, she got done wrong in the court system, and the bottom line is we've got to change the law so that it's fair. But women come to the other women's defense when, okay, a good example, everybody loves Mary J. Blige. A lot of people love Mary J. Blige, right? Great. The minute she gets roasted over the coals, oh, how could they do that? Oh, that's not right. Mary J. Blige, she shouldn't be paying Kendu Isaac. They don't have no kids together. All that good stuff, right? But men have been saying this for years, and we hear crickets.
I mean, I don't think nobody's disagreeing with that. I think Sunlight is taking issue with you calling the lady fat instead of just trying to find.
That's how I remember. I'm not a Sherry Shepherd fan. I don't even know what shows she's ever been on. I just remember when she was going through the child support system, because I am a father's rights advocate.
Hey, Brother Jonelle, how you doing? He says, peace, Queen, Brother Donovan and fam. And Easy says, hello, D, Donovan and family. Hello to you as well. And Jacqueline, how you doing? You say, exactly. And Deja says, he's 2.5 years younger. Yes, he is handsome, but I love his mindset.
Yeah, he looks young, though. I mean, he looks really good for his age. I mean.
And who is this again?
This is her man. She's been with this guy for a while. Yeah. It was the first time I was at Home Depot the other day. I'm sorry.
You making it seem like he was 20 years younger.
No. I was at Lowe's the other day, because I'm doing that bathroom retrofit, and I met him for the first time. So I'm shocked. Like, I made a joke to her, and I said, "Oh, this is your oldest." That's how young the guy looks.
Deja, did you take a paint can immediately and bust Donovan in his head? Tell me you did. Just even if you didn't, I wanted the satisfaction if you did that. And I says, yeah, go tell Pookie not to engage. Yeah, I mean, I think it should go both ways. And that messy issue says, got to be a little paint trading with our community to establish predominant identity. We need the disagreement, not the disrespect. I love that. We can disagree all day long, but the name calling and all that other stuff, it's pointless, right? And Arneva says, birds of a feather, Michi X, Sinji, and Tommy S. Okay, so I guess you're saying they flock together. And Ridiculous Thoughts, she says, you are the company you keep. If you follow these folks, ask yourself what it says about you. I totally agree. And Jacqueline says, y'all funny. We don't try to be, but it just comes out that way. But thank you. And Kevin says, my people need to stop being so focused on the personalities and being so up in their feelings. That's just distractions. Like Malcolm said, let's all focus on Black nationalism and empowerment. Yes, indeed. But see, now I will say this, and I'm not saying anybody's an agent, but I think it's agent-like behavior when we see some of those people do and say the things that they're doing, because it's like, are you really interested in Black liberation, or are you just interested in being right and calling names and fighting? And that's what makes me wonder, like, what is this really about, right? And let's see here. I won't read the responses. And Thunder says, women with AARP cards have benefits. Most likely she's retired and she's able to travel with her kids are grown. AARP discounts on hotels, cruises, and vacation packages and flights. It's a win-win, guys.
Yeah, so, and you forgot rental car.
Right. Discounts at Denny's. But Pioneer says, Tommy Sotomayor sounds like he's been psychologically traumatized when he was a child or something. He seems to have a hatred for Black women. Yeah, the hatred is strong with that one. Very strong. It's scary too, And Mr. Pinebrand says, Boyce should not have stole Michi's channel name. So he started it. Yeah, and that's true. Then yeah, he should not have done that. I totally agree. Like, why are you taking a woman's name for? I mean,
wait. You guys are sounding like Puff and all the artists that were formerly associated with Bad Boys, just like with Mace. Remember that?
Yeah.
If you for Black people, they send me my masters. Let me buy my masters back.
Right. And one, how you doing? He says, Dr. Umar goes at Black men all the time. Yes, indeed, he does. And Rain says, I don't want to see Tommy's charred junk for real. Well, it sounds like somebody do. Why? I don't know, but they do.
He's probably preying on these young girls that just want to get the bag, because that's the mentality that is prevalent in these young girls nowadays. Why is it that in a court of law, they say a prostitute has bad eyesight? That's a legal term that they use in regard to a witness that's a prostitute.
Oh, I thought that was a dirty joke or something. Like, why?
Well, it kind of is, because you're discounting the prostitute because she'll sleep with anybody for money.
That sounds like a lot of politicians and preachers and stuff too.
Absolutely.
And thank you, Pioneer. I love and appreciate you for that. It's a tribute to the Queen. Thank you so much. And good evening, Robin. How you doing? The Sunlight says Tommy Sotomayor nickname is Ashy. And Arneva says Watkins is up there with Robert Kiyosaki as far as waking people up to the financial intelligence. Yeah, Robert Kiyosaki is one that's been around a long time. But do you guys know that Robert Kiyosaki does not want African descendants of slaves to have reparations, since he's so big on people with financial literacy, rich dad, poor dad type of thing, but he doesn't want us to get reparations.
Oh, wait. Before we move on, I want to announce the Congressional Black Talkers have passed in the House the Crown Act, even though we keep telling them reparations. Is it going to get past the Senate? I doubt it. But guess what? More symbolism.
Right. And Tips, you say most YouTube channels do that stealing claim stuff. It's just a lot going on. That's why I just really be trying to just mind my business. I mean, y'all know I talk about stuff because I have to and things, but for the most part, it's yes, please, if y'all really haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe. I love and appreciate you. And as I always say, we'll dance at your wedding. And thank you so much, Thunder. I love and appreciate you for that. You said tribute to the Queen. Long live the Queen. I appreciate that so much. And Pioneer, you also say, Oh, come on now, Brother Don. How do you come with the get your hand out of my pockets? I tell people that when they ask me about my money, great minds think alike. That came from what? Malcolm X? And
Yep, Malcolm X. Get your hands out of my pocket.
Hey, Michelle, how you doing? You says great commentary, family. And thank you so much for being here. And Moni says, don't forget, Dimitri, you were supposed to have been dating. So it was rumored from the Fly Nubian Queen, Vicky Dillard, and he did do her right either. Can't trust a liar, disrespectful to Black women. I have no firsthand information about that at all either. First I've even heard of it. So I don't know, y'all. I don't know. I can't really speak on it because I don't know. And Arneva says, a hippopotamus is way too fat for me, Sly Stone. Jafia says, Mary's man wanted child support for a child that didn't belong to Mary. He asked for money for his parents because they had become accustomed to living well because of Mary. The effing nerves, what you're saying. Yeah.
I mean, again, everybody's outraged. That's ridiculous, but that's the law. So again, you can't really get mad. Men have been saying it for years. This doesn't make sense. I get a raise at my job, so the child gets a raise. So I'm basically working for nothing. And so then a lot of guys quit their jobs. They don't, or they're getting paid under the table. It's just sad. It's just sad. We got to change the laws to be fair, no matter who makes what amount of money. You can't complain about it after the fact.
Well, and a lot of times that goes by the state too. So, and the Sunlight says, Donovan Saadiq, child support advocate, cool. Sherry Shepherd is her name, not fat chick.
I couldn't remember because I get her and Lonnie Love and Lizzo. They all look similar to me. Same weave, same all that stuff. So
you just a hateful man. Medicine Pollux, how you doing? It says, hey, Dimitri, hey, Donovan, mods and chat. Yes, indeed. Again, if you guys are in the Facebook room somewhere watching this and you love for us to read your comment, click on the link, come on over, and I would love to do that. And Stan says, love the African Diaspora News Channel. I wish those for the Black community would treat all as a diaspora and push for unity through information and action plans. Wish more YouTubers would do that. Me too. I really do. But you guys got to think about it. It's very lucrative to be divisive, especially in the Black community. I hate Black women. I hate Black men. And people go and they love it. To me, it's like the Gladiators. You guys remember watching the movies when they would throw, somebody in, two people, and they had to fight to the death. Yeah, exactly. And then you got people cheering it on, and it's just like, so of course you're like, oh, y'all like that, huh? All right, let me give you more of that. And so it pays.
Yeah, and notice, our society is in decline because of the rise of UFC, cage fighters. It's a distraction to keep you entertained while the country goes into the toilet.
Sad state of affairs. And Pioneer says, laugh out loud, they aren't an agent, but they're displaying agent-like behavior. I mean, that's kind of how I see it, because we don't really have any intel if they're an agent or not, but the behavior does make you raise an eyebrow. And Arneba says, some agents don't have enough sense to be paid for being on. Exactly. They're just going to sign up to do it, right? And they don't have enough sense to keep it on the low either.
Right. But do you know what's crazy though? There's enough money out here for everybody to get paid. That's the crazy thing.
Yeah, but some people's like, it's got to be me and only me. I've got to be the only one. It's like, no, you don't, because it was people doing it before you, right? And Pioneer says, I'm not considered dark-skinned, but I don't care too much for the dark-skinned jokes aimed at Tommy. Yeah, that's just more of the name calling, stuff like that. I don't agree with that either, but Tommy sure doesn't hold back when he's talking about people. You know what I mean? And so
that black bitch.
Yeah. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, is it deserved a little bit? And Moni says, Donovan, there's nothing wrong with being an advocate that supports fathers, but why do you have to insult Sherry Shepherd? She's never been a huge woman. No way. She's never been 350 pounds. So why call her fat?
Well, it's not, I didn't do it to be insulting. Like I said, that is how I look at her adjective. I don't know how tall she is. I see a fat woman. That's just me. I just see a fat woman.
Pioneer says, I don't care too much for when my man Tariq Nasheed does it. He can diss Tommy for his anti-Black women behavior, but making fun of his dark skin is unacceptable. Yeah, but that's just kind of part of what they all do, right? Their name calling, talking about each other. And instead of us as the people who, and I'm saying us in general, that follow them saying, hey, you know what? If you want me to continue watching you and supporting you, we're going to demand better of you. I think we should do that with people in general. I demand better of you. This is low-level thinking here, you know, the name calling and all that nonsense. And Morning said the Pioneer much. I'll say talk to the Pioneer.
Yeah, when is anybody going to defend me? All the names you call me.
I ain't never called you no name, Kojak.
Yul Brenner.
You're right. You mother. I'm just playing. I'm nice to Donovan. And JJ, you say Crown Act, Congressional Black Caucus still should be all fired.
Yeah, yeah. For those that don't know, certain states did adopt the Crown Act. California being one of them, was one of the first states to do it. Another thing of symbolism in a Detroit Democratic-controlled state. So on the federal level, what they're doing to distract you as the midterms are coming up, the Democrats are doing everything but what we want them to do, which is the reparations and the qualified immunity. That's going to affect our lives. So they're going to say, ooh, now we're going to make it a federal law to not discriminate against people because of the hair that grows out of their head. But even if that did pass, it's not going to pass the Senate. They don't care if it passes the Senate. It's the symbolism of, hey, we did something for y'all. So y'all niggas, in the words of Simone Sanders, sit down and shut up. Your questions are not warranted.
Yeah, and then also the midterm elections are coming up, so they got to kind of do some little things and say, well, we did something. We delivered on things that we said we're going to do. Like, yeah, right. All right. So C. Ruffy say, hey, y'all, keep up the good work. Yes, indeed. And thank you so much. And Sunlight says we need to look into ways of taking reparations, kind of like the Dine and Dash concept, food for thought. That is a, we got to figure out how to do that.
I think they're already doing that. Here in California, when you go to the malls and stuff, they're crashing and dashing.
I will say this. I covered a story for the African Diaspora News Channel. It's not out yet, but California is talking about giving Native Americans $100 million to buy land and preserve it, you know, the ancestral land. And they're not even going to tell them what to do with it. They're just going to give it to them. So, and Deja says, yes, Malcolm X, get your hands out of my pocket. And that messy issue says, you're right, Dimitri K. Many of us are agent provocateurs, unbeknownst, just off of the unresolved issues we bring to in an intellectual conversation, the psychological effects of slavery. Yep, it's that we playing the dozens, or I'm a browbeat you because I don't want nobody else to like you, or I don't want Master to like you more than he like me. So I'm gonna point out your flaws and I'm gonna call you names and clown and joke. And it's like, but at the end of the day, we as Black people are all suffering. And if you have good information that will benefit us, leave all that nonsense alone. Like, we got enough clowns in our community to last a lifetime, but let's get down to the serious matter so we can progress.
Wait, you gonna let him come into the big house? Oh Lord, I gotta go change the sheets. Oh Lord. We always gotta have a Steven.
Exactly. You know? There's a Steven everywhere. And Tips, you say Sherry Shepherd is an attractive woman. I think she's an attractive woman too.
I absolutely do believe she's attractive, more so now that she lost the weight. There's a lot of women out there. Lizzo, she's an attractive woman, but she's over. I mean, health-wise, it's a scary thing. And if more women would realize that, you know, health-wise, hey, Lizzo could get a man. It's just, I guess.
But I understand Lizzo got a man.
Well, yeah, but she's paying.
How you know what that lady doing?
That's what they say.
Who is this they?
They.
Right. And Moni says we should respect one another because at the end of the day, we are all God's children. I don't have to like Mr. Watkins because I view him as a crook, but at the same time, I don't have to insult his body. I love it. And Easy, you say we need to be careful with this misinformation and disinformation. Yep, but nah, some people just spew it off like it's gospel, like it's the truth. You know, if you say something well enough, people could believe it. You know, I could say, did y'all know that they're going to allow twerking in the next Olympics? And if I sound good saying it, somebody will go off and say, man, I heard they was going to allow twerking in the next Olympics.
But you know what's crazy? When we were telling people that they got crack pipes in the medical kits, nobody wanted to believe that.
Yeah, that was kind of like, you got to be joking, right? But yeah, smoking kits. There's White House sanctioned crack pipes. And Thunder says, I spent my weekend canning chicken and canning okra and tomatoes just in case Europe gets worse. And this is another benefit of knowing women with those silver highlights. You always will be fed good food. Yes.
You know what, Thunder, you hit it right on the nail. And it's so sad that a lot of our young ladies and, maybe the young grandmothers that are out there, when I say young grandmothers, my age, I'm 50. So I think that's fairly young to be a grandparent. They don't know the art of canning. My mom comes when she visits me. She'll be in the kitchen for 3 or 4 days, just canning stuff and just putting it up there. Now I got a whole bunch of crap that I'm not eating, but I'm thankful because World War III is about to kick off, and she knows how to preserve all this stuff. And it's going to be pretty scary as prices are getting higher, and the shelves are starting to be empty right now as we speak.
You're gonna be enjoying those organic chitlins, huh?
Organic pig feet, hog maws,
right? Made by mama with love. Yeah, the part that says you two are right. The further the economy goes down the drain, the more they legalize outages and destructive things. First, it says MMM and cage fighting, then drugs. Yes, indeed. And
Pioneer. The next thing is prostitution. Look what they're already doing. OnlyFans and, the girls getting the bag and stuff. I watch these TikTok videos. Sometimes I'm not on TikTok, but like my mom or my niece or somebody will send me TikTok videos. And I'm looking at the video. Do you guys ever notice that these young ladies are always in hotels? They're always in hotels. And how do I know they're in hotels? When they got the AC?
Because you be in there with them.
Well, yeah, but remember, I was a pilot, so I spent a good 20 years traveling in and out of hotels, so I could kind of see that they're in a motel or hotel. And they're saying our newer generation of Black women are going to be homeless because if they don't start saving money and making, financial decisions for the future, if there is a future.
Black women and Black men need to be together. We are better together in every way, shape, or form. It's easier to take care of a household with 2 incomes. It's just common sense, right? And Rain, yes, they do call Tommy crispy. Deja says they're not ready for that discussion yet. Pioneer says, I think Trump and all of those who support him are in serious trouble because of so much destruction Putin is unleashing in Europe right now. Yeah, Putin he's not stopping.
Yeah, I don't expect my people really to be concerned about what's going over there when we're getting pretty much the same treatment here. But as a military person, I kind of keep abreast of that. He is encircling a lot of cities and starving them out because they can't get supplies in and out. And then doesn't make sense to me. The United States doesn't want to make a no-fly zone. So basically, Putin has immunity to starve these cities out.
Yeah, and Biden also said, no, I will not be going to Ukraine during my trip to Europe. That's a stop I'm not going to make. And Anita says the Crown Act, more symbolism, Lord. They just need to cut the check already, restitution or reparations. I'll take either one. Absolutely. Yeah, they keep giving us these little bitty, who cares? And hey, Sheila, how you doing? He says, they is the street committee. Right. And Pioneer says, you're right about how our people treat each other. Neely Fuller Jr. points this out. And I even noticed that white folks say good morning while Black folks often insult each other. They insult each other first thing in the morning.
Okay, look. Remember, Demetrius, 6 years ago, we were sitting in the studio. Remember, I told you about when I worked at the airport and stuff, part-time, whatever, I would see young women at 6:30 in the morning, 7:30 in the morning coming into work, and their fists are already bald.
Because they was dealing with y'all Black asses all night. I'm just kidding.
You know what I mean? It's like it's early in the morning. How bad or how stressful could your life be at the start of the day?
Yeah, I get it. Some people, they waking up ain't always a joyful thing, And let's see here. Complex Blackness, how you doing? He says canning is good. Survival, yes, indeed. We should all learn how to do one form of it or another, right? Something. And Kevin said there's a global economic reset coming very soon where paper money is going to end up useless. The G7 is heading toward global controlled, programmable digital currency. What are we doing to prepare?
Right. Kevin, you make a good point, because in the last 3 years, how much money, physical money, has people got in their hand? Oh, you're in a pandemic, so we got a coin shortage. We're going to do it. They're already training us not to use any physical money, even though it doesn't make sense that we're paying interest on paper. So faith-based money. So we're doing that already, but you're absolutely right. You are going right down you're reading the tea leaves correctly. A lot of people aren't doing that.
I have a pop quiz for y'all. Y'all ready? I've been paying attention. Who in about 10 years ago or so was trying to get away from paper money and they killed them?
You're saying 10 years ago? Because I can go back.
Yeah, about 10 years.
I can go back 60 years before that. How many of you guys remember looking on our currency? They used to have a silver certificate.
Answer the question, brother.
Okay. They killed them. Wait. Who was that? 10 years ago?
About 10 years ago or so.
I can't remember right now off the top of my head.
Maybe a little longer at this point. I'll see if anybody can come up with it in the chat. And again, if you guys are in the watch rooms or whatever on Facebook, click on the link and I would love to read your comment. And Tawana, how you doing? Since I started canning food last year, what you can, and I'm interested.
Yeah, wait a minute. You missed the Pioneers comment.
Did I?
Europe will get worse.
Oh, got it. And you say Europe will get worse, and I think it's going to spread to the United States in the next few weeks. I think America will get involved in the next few weeks. Well, there's been prophesized that America, and the minister talked about that, America nor Africa are going to have a choice after a while. They're going to have to get involved. This is, essentially what we're seeing, World War III. What are they going to do? Watch Putin just run roughshod all over Europe and do nothing? They're going to have to. Putin is going to force everybody else's hand, whether they like it or not. So, Tiffany said 100 Miss K, and Moni. You say Moni Love, I think you meant. And Lizzle Granite is very much so. So you said Granite, very so much so big girls, but Sherry Shepherd ain't never been in a class, and she's very cute in the face. I'm a little appalled by your demeanor, Donovan. Stop hating women.
See, we only hear what we want to hear. I never said I hated the woman. I'm actually on her side when it came to the child support system. Now, just because you view somebody at 5'3", 230 pounds as slim, I don't. That's what we're talking about right here on this platform, though. Do you see what I'm saying? Everybody wants to put their opinion on other people, and we got to stop doing that. Let me have my opinion. I'll let you have your opinion. It is what it is.
I'm gonna just keep reading. Deja says gardening is key. Grow your own food. Yes, indeed. And Pioneer says, I've been warning our people for years that the smartest and the most intelligent of us should get together and build our own communities in order to protect ourselves and feed ourselves. Yeah, but you've been warning people. Marcus Garvey has been warning people. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad has been warning people. Now you have Farrakhan warning people. So it's like, at what point will we listen, right? As I said, my dad has been a FOI since he was 19, and as long as I can remember, he always says, I could call him right now, tomorrow. So, store your food in your water. You putting away food and water? Yes, Daddy, I'm putting away food. Because they've always been talking about that, but we as Black people, I hate to say this, we're always reactive and not proactive. See, proactive is storing your food in your water, do you can, and get you some beans and some rice and all this other stuff. And reactive is like, more soup? I think can I just get a piece of bread? Well, you knew this was coming and you didn't prepare. Well, nah, because I was too busy, doing other stuff. Well,
you guys want to hear a crazy story? When I was in survival school, there was a sister that went to survival school, Sears school, when you got to survive in the woods and stuff. And everybody told the sister, hey, you're going to be in the woods for 15, 16 days. I don't think you need that weave. It's not a good idea to bring it. She refused to release that weave. I mean, that's, you know what I mean? Okay, and so the moral of the story is what I'm saying is this. It goes with what you're just saying. There's going to come a time where you're going to look at and say, those nails, ladies, you might not need them. The hair, you might not need him. It's going to be survival mode. Nobody's going to care about that when the shit hits the fan.
Let me write that down. Complex Blackness says Putin is not necessarily a bad guy. No-fly zone will start a larger war. Yeah, I mean, people, and I was having this conversation with my niece last night. I said, I think we need to really do our research as to who we believe or who we're told to believe people are, right? There's more to the story. And Arniba says Trump is not in trouble as long as white supremacy is a mindset. Yeah, he ain't in trouble as long as the Democrats are in office or the Republicans are in office because they think the same things. Come on now.
Merrick Garland,
if he wanted to lock Trump up, he would have been locked up a long time ago.
Merrick Garland, I mean, by the time he even brings charges against Trump, the Democrats are going to be out of office.
Exactly. And Thunder says another benefit of older ladies to never need to go to the pharmacy. Anything that allies you that you already have.
Ails you.
I'm sorry. I can read, y'all, for real. Anything that ails you, they already have. They have a whole pharmacy sitting right there for you and can nurse you back to health. Yeah, they put that.
Robitussin.
Well, nah, you got to go back before then. They got some sort of a salve they'll put on you, and they got some castor oil you can drink, and they put some onion pieces in your socks, all that kind of stuff. But you're right. And the Prime Minister says, Brother Don, it makes sense to me that the U.S. don't want to institute a no-fly zone in Ukraine. How would they influence it without directly firing on Russia plane and copters?
That's the whole point of doing it, because let them know that you mean business. But the thing is, white supremacy is white supremacy. You can think about it. Look at all these here in California, there's a Russian community or whatever, and they're making kits and sending it over there to help their people. So this is white tribalism happening. These people do not want to do what they would do in Libya, what they would do in all these poor countries, Haiti, wherever they go. They're putting a no-fly zone and they're just bombing the crap out of everybody. But when it comes to white folks, their historical, land, they're not going to do it.
Nope.
They're basically telling Putin, do what you like.
Or basically telling Putin, listen, we know you about that life, so we would that you stop. Morning says Demetra is very cold in Texas, and Michigan is going from mildly warm back to cold. So we're getting next to the season of your birth month. Thank you for being a great motivator. Well, I appreciate that. It was 80 degrees here in Texas today. So I was out there trying to get some sun. But yeah, I think it's going to get cold again. Next month is my birthday. I keep forgetting. I'll be 25. Mr. Pinebrand says they turned a ship around full of food that was headed to Somalia and sent it to Ukraine. Ukraine lost all of their cows to drought. Ain't that some mess? Like, so that basically tells you who was more important to them in the larger scheme of things.
Right. Was it drought or was it a bioweapon?
Right. I saw a tweet by what's his name? Arsenio Hall, right before I came on here. And he was like, oh, pray for Ukraine. Lord, I know you're tired of listening to me pray. And I'm like, I said, what's wrong with y'all Negroes? What's wrong with you?
Yeah, how and you never see black entertainers, or I'm not saying all of them, but some of them. Why isn't he saying that? Oh, pray for black people. We're being murdered in the streets.
I mean, he might be doing that, but it's like you're talking about the Ukrainian people who don't like black people. It's just odd to me, right?
Oh, and by the way, there was a report that there are neo-Nazis in Ukraine. These people do not like black people.
Listen to the language they use. They speak like neo-Nazis. So Putin wasn't lying, was he? And Pioneer says white folks clock in and say good morning to each other, and morning to the black and Latino nickels clock in and start frowning and cussing. Then start making fun of each other's clothes and shoes.
Or they talk about what they did at Saturday night at the club.
I was with your mama last night. That's their way of saying good morning. Yes, you all are so very smart. Muammar Gaddafi, that's exactly right with Libya, that he was talking about moving away from the dollar and using gold. He was saying, hey, black people all over the world, let's get together. Let's move away from this dollar. And next thing you know, oh, he's such a horrible individual. And then he's gone. And Libya's been destabilized and has full-fledged slavery ever since, right? But you don't hear Biden and none of them talking about let's go over there and send billions of dollars to them, do you?
Right. And, Thunder hit it also. That's what I was thinking about. JFK did it back in the 60s. And shortly after he took he was going to put the Federal Reserve notes. And I have some of those monies from back in the day. 2 weeks later, he was killed in Dallas.
Yes, indeed. It's a
going against the Federal Reserve.
Yes, indeed. You're right. It was 11 years ago. And so who all got that right? We have Mr. Pinebrand, Pioneer, Kevin, Complex Blackness Tips, Robin. Yep. So you all are very smart. And Thunder says JFK did it. So like you said, did it back in the 60s with the silver notes. Was that the 50-cent pieces?
No, it was actually on the dollar, the silver notes, because he was going to issue Federal Reserve notes, and they have like a red sticker on them. And the Federal Reserves did not like that. He was going to go away from the federal notes and put in the better ones,
I did hear that. And Moni says, I say, don't feed into negativity. There's nothing wrong with expressing how you feel, but it's done with class and intact, as opposed to ratchet and judgmental. That's what I'm sick of.
And real quick, for those in the history, 100 years before JFK was killed, who also was president? Abraham Lincoln. He issued greenbacks, got killed.
Yes, indeed. And so Andro Sarian Norman, how you doing? You got it right as well, Gaddafi. And Kevin says he was going to introduce literal gold as currency. Yes, indeed. So we got people who are on top of their game around here. And yes, indeed, Rain, you got it right as well, Momar. And the Pioneer says Minister Farrakhan said that she will meet her downfall in East Germany. And you know what? One thing about the minister, he has not been wrong yet. Every time he says, watch the weather, what happens? I mean, there's like wildfires raging in Texas as we speak. Now, is that normal for Texas? I don't know. I know it's kind of normal for California, but I've never really heard of that for Texas, right? Because usually it's a lot of rain, but it hasn't been a lot of rain in Texas, like it normally has. And I don't know, Thunder, you guys from Texas, am I wrong about the weather here? I don't know. And yes, Rain, you got that right. And Aniba says 5'3" and 2 bills plus is hefty.
Oh, yeah. Y'all classify it as hefty? I say fat, but anyway, okay, great.
How you doing, Eric? He says, just coming in the house, y'all. You were right on time. How you doing? And the Pioneer says, if this were back in the 20s and 30s, a war with Russia wouldn't impact the Black community as much because we would be much more used to farming and canning and supporting ourselves off the land. You're absolutely right. But as of now, we like to go through a lot of drive-throughs.
Yeah. How many of y'all had grandmothers that used to can them figs?
Yeah, one thing I would say about both of my grandmothers, they were very resourceful, very, very resourceful. And that's kind of gotten away from us, in this generation a lot, right? And Thunder says, if anyone is interested in learning how to check out these channels called Homestead Heart and Tea Has Fun. These sisters will teach you how to can. Yes, indeed. Let me write that down. Because I was looking at it one time and I was like, dang, you need all this machinery. But I guess there would probably be a way you can do it without having to do all of that. I don't know. So I'm going to look into it as well. And Monty says, Donovan has always been wonderful. She says something is, it isn't fun. It's never insulting to you as a man or your body or your personal being. Lay off of her and stop hating on Black women in general. I'm going to let y'all go back and forth.
Yeah. Wait, I love Black women. So I don't know what you talk about. I hate Black women or whatever. I love Black women. Never dated anything but.
And Sunlight says, Donovan, who are you talking about? And Kevin says, Putin, bad, Biden, good. 4 legs, good. 2 legs, bad. Oh my goodness. And Pioneer says, I talk about World War III jumping off and nickels at work start yawning and rolling their eyes and snacking on hot Cheetos. I can't stand you. You said, but the white folks pay attention and join the conversation. Yeah, we need to broaden our horizons when it comes to things around the world, right? Not just in the neighborhood, but around the world. Facts Not Feelings says Putin is 100% right in what he is doing. He needs to destroy all those Nazis. If you understand history of Ukraine and what they did to Euro Druze and Russians, you will understand why he had to act. Yeah, and it's important to study history and not just go off of what they usually United States media is telling you, right? And Mona says, I'm down for the Crown Act. It should have been passed. What I'm not down for is fakeness that becomes after the Crown Act is real, no real teeth to prosecute one that violates the law on the job or a school. But the better way to get rid of being a victim of the Crown Act per se is let's create our own jobs and we can wear our hair the way we want.
Right. And then, Mona, you got to also remember there was already a law addressing the Crown Act. If you discriminate somebody based on, race, ethnicity, and all this other stuff, your hair is part of your ethnicity. So again, all we got is symbolism.
And Mr. Pinebrand says Somalis lost cows to drought, not Ukraine. Yes, indeed. And Pioneer says, but my question is, why is food being shipped to Somalia? Somalia is a fairly large country near the equator. Any type of food can grow there if the people stop fighting and actually grow it. Absolutely. Yeah, there's a lot of places in Africa that need help. And unfortunately, they've allowed certain people to come over and dictate and take over. And, the government's there and their leaders, they go after the bag as well and forget about the plight of their people. So there's a lot of things going on with that. And Tip says white supremacy are in Ukrainian military. Yeah. And we've heard some of them speak. Look at the things that they're doing to Black people over there. So, it's like, are we really surprised? Mona says, Demetra, are you anxious to get back to California? It seems like they're passing a lot of good laws, both for Blacks and non-Blacks. What do you think about it? Well, I don't think they're passing any good laws per se for Black people, not any laws that are meaningful. I do love that they have put a moratorium on the death penalty because we know disproportionately Black people are on death row. And Gavin Newsom did say, as long as I'm governor, we're not going to be pulling the switch because I know disproportionately Black people are on death row and there's a lot of innocent people who are killed. And he says that until we can really figure out a way to figure out who deserves to be on there and who doesn't, we can't in good conscience kill people. So I like that. But I'm more anxious to get back to California because I miss the palm trees and my family and, the good weather and, but I don't miss the traffic. That's really
$9 gas and all that other.
Yeah. I think I'm going to be in Texas for a very long time. I go back to California and visit and stuff, but I do miss the mountains and the trees and stuff. And that messy is, she says, Pan-African Aqueduct 2. And the Pioneer says, hell yeah, they insult each other. Notice that since a kid in school, niggas go for the juggler with each other with the insults, be trying to make each other cry with the insults and threats. Yeah, it's brutal. And Mr. Pinebrand says Hampton University is giving free tuition and room and board to Ukrainian citizens.
Yep.
That's where your son went.
Yeah, he went to Hampton University. Yeah, he sure did. He sure did.
What can Black people go to school there for free? How much was your son's tuition?
I'm looking at, it was about between $56,000 a year.
But then
not including
go for free.
Not including board. Board was another additional $10,000.
But they can go for free.
Yeah.
Thunder says some of these older women even know how to grow a garden and can tell you everything about gardening from A to Z. One lady even told me how to grow, harvest, and cure tobacco. Wow. I need to start hanging out with you. You got all the good insights. See, that's what I tell people too. Start hanging around older people because they got that wisdom you can't buy, you can't Google. Older people, they just like, especially in our community, we really need to normalize embracing our elderly people because they are the keepers of the history, right? And once they're gone, if we didn't sit underneath them per se and absorb that good history and those good lessons and how to do stuff, then where are we going to get it from? It's lost.
Yeah, I always tell my nieces to follow my mom and, like make a YouTube channel where my mom is canning and all that stuff, that knowledge that she knows so that it won't be forgotten and other people could enjoy it as well. It'll be recorded.
Gotcha. Sheila said this morning, I learned that some retired U.S. veterans are going to Ukraine as humanitarians to help Ukrainians. We are surely going to World War III. Absolutely, it's unavoidable. But yeah, it's like y'all have at it. Donovan, you suiting up and going?
I'm volunteering. Now, No, put it like this. When you see old veterans going over there, this shit has hit the fan.
Right. See, forget all that. I'm sorry. I mean, we got Beirut in most of our neighborhoods. How about starting over there? You know, Chicago could use your help. And Pioneer says, when these fools come up to me with that dozens mess, I throw them off guard by saying, good morning, brother and sister, and keep it moving. They stand there looking at me all confused as hell.
Hey, Pioneer, or do they give you the...
And Mr. Pinebrand says, Houston is known for floods, not fires. That's what I thought. And Thunder, you said the same thing, fires like this, no. So as Farrakhan says, watch the weather. You know, we're seeing some really strange weather.
Yeah, because isn't Houston below sea level, like New Orleans?
Yep, it is. And so it's usually pretty tropical here. And I mean, like when I first got here, it rained all the time. I'm like, is it gonna stop? But now it's like, okay, it's raining today. It'll be sunny or it'll stop in about 20 minutes and then you can go on about your business, right? Like I have rarely even had to use an umbrella within the last year because it doesn't rain that long. So it is kind of odd. And somebody says, yep, fig preserve and plum jelly. I miss my grandma. Yes, indeed.
Plum jelly too. Yep, I remember all that. See, we all come from that generation, you know?
Yep. Pioneer says, even Mexicans show each other more love. I pay attention to them, male or female. They can't walk past each other without saying something. A nigga can work with you all day and not say a word. Yeah, we need to stop that. But, you know, I learned that from my dad a long time ago. He says, never let another Black person pass you and not say hello. Even if they don't speak back, at least you said hello, right? And a lot of times when you say hello to people, it does catch them off guard. They say, oh, hello, how you doing? You know?
Yeah, and that's one thing I like about the South. Just about everybody waves and stuff. So if you're from California, we don't do that. You don't talk to nobody you don't know.
Yeah. And then other thing too, I know like a lot of times people say sisters don't smile, and some of y'all brothers got a mad, mean mug too, boy. I'll be walking sometime and some of you brothers be. I'm like, well, maybe he's got a lot on his mind, but I speak anyway. I say, hello, how you doing? And say, oh, how you doing? And Tim says, from what I've heard, Umar was going to give Mr. Farrakhan millions and the U.S. blocked it. That is absolutely
yes. And there's a policy in the United States. And it's funny how they enforce the policy when it I remember in the 80s, they were going to give the Nation of Islam a bunch of money from Myanmar and some of the other countries. And they said, oh, no, that's a crime. You can't take in foreign money because it's laundered, all this other stuff. But isn't it funny how politicians could get donations from China, from Russia, and all this other stuff? But when the minister or these other countries want to help us as Black people, send us money, oh no, it's blocked. It can't come in. It's
because they need to keep us dependent. That's what that is. And Rain says, my grandma canned peaches and pears. And Kevin says, try the original version of canning using glass mason jars. And I'm sorry, it looks like I might be pixelating a little bit. Hopefully it'll go away. I'm fine. Okay. Yeah. Says try the original version of canning using glass mason jars. It's way healthier than tin and aluminum. Okay.
Yeah, my mom does that.
Pioneer says some of these young fools will walk past you, look at you briefly, and still won't say anything. If you think the nigga might have gotten some sense and greeted you, he's really on the on the cell phone.
Pioneer, and maybe some of you guys that are in our age bracket. Well, Demetra's 25, so she's nowhere near it. How many of you guys had those old uncles or aunts that would say, what's the matter with you? Did I sleep with you last night?
Yep.
And I never knew what that was until I got older. So
yeah, that means that never mind. My dad is watching. And Thunder says, Miss Eloise grew up back in those thickets, and she taught me how to make peach brandy and wine. See, these older women will save you money too. You don't even have to go to the liquor store anymore. Yeah, but you know what? I wouldn't consider myself an older woman. Nah, shit, I'm 50, okay? I'm still just getting there, right? I'm still a baby in the larger scheme of things. But I mean, I would say that's true for me. Shoot, I'm very resourceful. You ask anybody to know me, they'll be like, damn, you know how to do a lot of stuff. But if I don't know how to do it, I'm going to figure it out. Like my dad said, shit, figure it out. You know, I always tell y'all the story of how I first learned how to swim. Me and my siblings is my dad threw us in the pool. He was like, figure it out. But eventually my mom did put us in swimming lessons. But the point is like you're gonna sink or swim, and that's life in general, right? You just figure it out. So Arniba says Gaddafi ordered $1 billion cash and the wealth of Libya to the NOI to build Black infrastructure as a result of the Million Man March. The U.S. government blocked it. That indeed is true.
Did.
Yep. Pioneer says, I know Somalia is largely a desert now, but much of that comes from lack of farming. When white folks ran the country, they made them farm. When white folks left, they put the shovels down and the gats up. Yeah, it's pretty rough over there, unfortunately. And the Pioneer says, same thing with many other African nations. When white folks colonized it, the niggas were too busy sweating and working to fight. When they left, that was their opportunity to stop working, period.
Well, you know, I want to address the thunderous thing about making like brandy wine and stuff like that. All these brothers that go to prison, they know how to make wine too, that prison wine. That's one of the things you learn.
Pruno. That's what they call it. Hey, Arson, how you doing? And you say, hey, guys, just came in. Hope you had a great week. Yeah, so far. I hope you did too. And said there's more to say than I have room for. But in short, we definitely need to, at the very least, read survival guides. Hashtag be proactive, not reactive. Yes, indeed. I mean, there's so many guides out there you can read. We need to be prepared. And Moni says, I see where that vibrant is going. He says, I think variant, you meant, is going to come back to the U.S. and have things shut down as they should and then they can sit back and look stupid for saying that it's never coming to the U.S. Yeah. There's another one that's BA.2 variant out there now. And they said, yeah, it's gonna be worse, they said, than the last variant. So I was like,
guess what? They're not going to shut anything down because the dollar is their god.
You like you just die if you die, you know. And Don says, don't forget Garfield and Cleveland, one or two, the Federal Reserves. And I says, that's a good thing. I hope a lot more of them go fight. Pioneer says that, and that's exactly what would happen in many of our communities if Afro-Americans got our total freedom right now. A good third of them will see that as an opportunity to stop working, period. I hope not. And Martin says, okay, from this moment forward, Donovan, I'm divorcing my love affair from you now. I got to watch it because if therefore you'll say anybody that's over 130 is morbidly obese, got you. Ooh. So see, wait, hold on.
Oh, go ahead.
Wait, hold on. What I tell you about speaking and lowering our bid. I had Donovan on the auction block to be auctioned off for a date, and you keep saying things like that.
But where's the lie? She was a fat chick.
I mean, it's really in the eye of the beholder, right?
Right,
I mean,
exactly. Yeah. Is anybody going to stand up for my rights? Uh-oh, we're going to have another incident. I'm going to get hit in the head again.
I'm going to be quiet. I'm going to keep reading. But as of now, Moni says she is done with you, brother. Pioneer says, Brother Don, the head nods was popular back in the early 2000s, but a lot of these youth don't even do that anymore. You do a head nod at them and they'll glance over at you and then down at their phone. Moni says, so true. It is what it is. I think Dmitry Putin is going to force everyone's hand. I could care less what they do. I'm putting my faith in God because when you get down to it, you got nothing but snakes fighting. Yes, indeed. And avenge the ancestors. How you doing? He says, hello, Queen Demetria, Brother Donovan, and Room Black first. Yes, indeed. And Moni, you say, you know, after coming out of a horrific circumstance where I was dealing with ongoing racism, I sit back and I watch how people react to one another, and many are very cold catalysts until it's them. You make a good point. And Thunder says, Houston is called the Bayou City. Not too many fires around here. In fact, Stevie Ray Vaughan wrote a song called Texas Flood. The title alone should tell you about Texas weather. Yeah, but we haven't seen a lot of rain in the last couple of months, I would say, right? And the Pioneer says, a lot of our people are full of anger and rage and resentment. Their lives are screwed up and usually over crap they did wrong in their lives. You make a good point.
And you know what? Have you ever thought that maybe there's no rain in Texas anymore because all these California people are bringing that RO with them?
I know, I haven't thought about that. Okay. And Moni says, I say, prepare everyone a little bit at a time, stuck up on a good tasting beans, barely rice, or I think it meant barley rice, things that can be canned, no worries thereafter. Don't take it for granted. No, absolutely. I mean, I be in Costco and got a big giant thing of beans and rice and, other things just in case to go down water. As Dr. Muhammad would say when we were on the war zone, he says you get you those water purifying tablets in case the water source goes bad or something, and you have to purify your tablets. So we got that. So yes, it's all about knowing, right, and being prepared. And let's see here. And Pioneer says so many young men and women are walking around angry as hell they caught an STD. But since the 80s and since elementary school, you've been taught to use condoms when you have sex. So what the hell? And Kid Gravity, how you doing? He says evening all. Mona says if she never released her weave, Donovan, she could be in the woods if it's sold in 30 days and not care about it 60 days. Still don't care. Love yourself is the moral of the story.
Right. But when you're in the military and they tell you to get rid of that shit, you're supposed to get rid of that shit.
This is indeed why doves cry. I'll just keep reading though. Thunder says, fellas, ask yourself, how many of these young women know how to make biscuits and cornbread from scratch? Say young women. Young women.
Oh.
Young women know how to make all of that.
Well, we know Deanna knows how to do it. She's practically a damn chef.
Yeah, my daughter, she's a young woman and she can make all of that. In fact, if we ever make cornbread or something like that, I say, can you make some? And she knows how to make it from scratch. Bam, bam, bam. Here you go. And it's good. And let's see here. And Marty says, I think they're going to try to work on getting him up and out of office before all the Democrats go, Donovan. But then that's just me. And I know how you love your Republicans. But when they come back, watch. And somebody says,
let's see, the stock market is going to take off. They're going to smite our enemies and be upfront with us about what they're doing rather than hiding behind it and using Black women for their ill-gotten gain to keep us subjugated. I'll wait though.
Sunlight says, to be honest, young people don't appreciate home cooked food. Not at all. I'm one of those people. I love to eat at home. I mean, like I said, I said before, I'm kind of leery of eating out nowadays because they're short staffed and they're under a lot of pressure, and I just don't really feel like they're gonna pay close attention to my food like that. So I just usually try to eat at home, and it's less costly. And that messy issue says they make rain clouds in Mississippi, Standards Rocket Center. They have been actively manipulating the weather, so I hear with HARP and all of that, right? And Thunder says they tell me it never rains in Southern California. It's sometimes it does. It's very rare though, right? Who directed that music video, by the way? It's a little trivia for you guys.
Lisa Bonet.
You're absolutely correct. Robin says, wow. And Thunder says, another benefit of older ladies learn a low to no chance of STDs.
I don't know about these modern older women. I'm telling you. They're competing with these young ones.
All right. Sunlight says these youngsters eat candy and junk food when they're hungry. Most are weed smokers and have the munchies. Yeah. Another thing too is if you're gonna survive the revolution, because there will be a revolution, how you gonna survive it if you don't have the energy? How you gonna survive it if you don't work out? Like back in the day, I used to work out to be cute and all of that, but I'll tell my daughter, shit, we working out for survival because, especially being out here in Texas, you're gonna have to run through some bush and some grasses and all this other stuff and hop and jump. And, I want to be able to at least try to do that. I don't have good knees anymore, but damn it, I'm gonna die trying. And Pioneer says, just look at how some of these act when they're cutting or doing hair, using the same comb and brush on everybody's head without sanitizing it. Imagine a food like that in the kitchen. See, I want to thank you, brother, for reminding me as to why I don't eat out, because you're absolutely right. I mean, imagine, and like I said, no shade to anybody in the restaurant industry. My hat's off to them, but they're understaffed. You got a long drive-through line. It's lunch hour. And let's say somebody drops some food. Do you think they're going to really? I mean, they might. I'm not saying they're not. But they might be prone to say, well, shit, it wasn't on the ground that long. Pick it up and put it back. Yeah, let me die. Cross my heart, hope to die. Whatever it used to say back in the day, 5-second rule. And then they putting that in your bag. So, I mean, I'm just kind of leery right now. You know, maybe I'll lose some more weight. And Martin says, Dimitri, it stays cold here. No 80-degree weather until after June, most likely. So tell us, why don't you celebrate St. Patrick's Day? I'm all ears. I don't celebrate any holiday really, because it is a pagan holiday, and most holidays, if not all of them for the most part, are a corporation thing. They are a money grab. They find ways to get consumers to spend more money by telling you to celebrate this. In order to celebrate this, you got to go spend money. And so, as I said, you know, I was born in the Nation of Islam. It's not something we normally did. Now, throughout my life, I have celebrated some holidays here and there. But, you know, and another thing is St. Patrick's Day. I mean, is that really for us? Are we Irish? Now, I know some people say, well, there's Black Irish. Okay, yeah, we'll concede that point. But if you really study St. Patrick's Day and the man it was really about, I mean, he murdered a lot of Black people from what I understand. And so I think we should just really know what it is that we are celebrating. So that's
right.
why.
And the Irish are not very principled when it came to Black people in the country. So just before the civil rights, as the Irish migrated to the United States, a lot of Irishmen became slave, what do you call that, taskmasters or stuff. Those were the ones that were managing the plantations in the stead of the white master. So it is, I'm not stereotyping, but these are just historical facts. They were not very kind when it came to Black people.
And what is the American policing system predicated off of?
Right, exactly. The slave patrols, which was predominantly Irish. And if you look at the early parts of the United States, like let's say New York and Boston and all these places, most policemen were what? Of Irish descent.
There you have it, Moni. And you also say, naturally, we would be humane to see somebody suffering and just want to pray. But I can never do a group of people that can care less about Black man and Black women suffering. Let's be real. There you go. The Pioneer says, situation is so dire that at this time, I don't think we should focus on food and survival in the woods. People get better right with God and think about, better get right with God, I'm saying, and think about a quick and painless death.
You don't want to survive a nuclear holocaust. Just go ahead and just hopefully seconds.
Exactly. And let's see here. And the Thunder says, in a survival situation, the only time you need to run in Texas is when you're running low on ammo. Laugh out loud. Okay, there you go. But I'm just saying, in case we get like some zombie apocalypse jump off or something, I need to run for as long as I can. But you know what I'm scared of too here is snakes. I've seen like 3 of them since I've been here. 1 by my front door, and then 2 when I was walking in the park. I'm like, really? But in all fairness, I've seen snakes in California when I was walking on the mountain too. They were actually bigger. So.
Oh, I thought you were talking about guys that were probably trying to holler at you or something.
No, I mean them too, but I'm talking about the more deadly kind. And Dale Garcia, how you doing? You say the economic collapse is coming. Black people buy silver and gold before it sell out. Yeah, absolutely.
And you know, I'm glad Dale brought that up. Thank you, Dale, for bringing that up, because we were talking about that on the podcast in regards to you're supposed to be saving your money and being ready when everything is normal. Now we're coming into a drought, and it's like this new generation, they've just been taught to spend, and there's no concept of saving. So let's say this Holocaust is about to break down, and how are you going to get supplies? You have no money because you haven't been saving. In the last 15 years, with the economic collapse of 2007, 2008, when are we going to learn, Black people? When are we going to learn?
When we start teaching more. You're right, though. And Pioneer says, between the virus and World War III, do you really want to survive and continue to live in that type of world, and how it will be in the next few years? What are you expecting? The rapture? Exactly.
You know what, Pioneer? I'm glad he brought the rapture up. And I'm not downing anybody's religion, whatever, but there's a war going on in Ukraine. I haven't seen anybody get raptured yet.
Right.
So, exactly. Please convince me.
I mean, you'll find out when you see that you've been left behind and people's cars and stuff are, running with nobody in them. And Andre, how you doing? Say overseers. Absolutely. That's where they learn their system. The policing system here is based off of that of the Irish. Mona says, you make sure I add, Demetra, he says, I asked when I sent you an email, if you ever post stories like Brother Phil, do you love to see you post some of mine as opposed to having to do an interview? Is that possible? So yeah, I mean, I could do an interview with you. We just need to set it up. Pioneer says the legend of so-called St. Patrick was really
no. Oh, wait, I don't mean to cut you off. She's not saying do an interview. She's saying, would you put some of her stories up versus doing an interview?
Oh, got it. Yes, Moni. As I said to you before, send me succinctly what you want me to talk about, because you sent me like a whole, I think like 24 emails at one time. And I'm like, I couldn't even figure out how to put all that together. So if you would do me a favor and do most of the work so that I can make it easier for me, then it'd be easier for me to do that. Pioneer says the legend of so-called St. Patrick was really a cover for him being sent by the Romans to go to Ireland and murder the original people of that island. So yeah, there's various stories out there, right? But they're telling you it's about good luck. And Kevin, you say the Irish were the patty rollers, the origin of the U.S. police force. Yes, indeed. And Dell, you say the real Irish is black. They were called the Black Celt. The white Irish was the overseers. Okay, so we get some good information here. And Moni says, I think Gaddafi had the best idea of getting rid of the dollar and bringing about the almighty coins, but unfortunately they took part and taking that man's life, but each of their family will pay. You better believe it. And Tips, you say patty rollers. Yep. And Cam, how you doing? And Arniba says patty wagon. Yep, y'all smart, boy. Y'all got it together. Pioneer says, Brother Diamond, you're absolutely right. If there's a nuclear war, you don't want to survive a world devastated by nuclear war. You want to be out of here and safe in the spiritual realm. Yes. And Mary, how you doing? He says, so you're speaking to Monica. And then, or actually Moni. That sounds like Monica. Moni. And then Moni, you say, but I'll read your comment, Mary, since I haven't seen you on here today. He says, because St. Patrick killed millions of Twa people who were the first people in Ireland before the enemy stole Ireland back from the Black Twa people, Google Twa people. Yes, indeed. And you're absolutely correct. And Moni says, well, Texas got a curse on it, Demetra, for all the hell and racism that it took part in. So if it gets burned down, oh, well, you can always come to Michigan. We never had them problems west of Bloomfield. Okay, I'll keep that in mind. And Norman, I say your last name. He says the Irish slaughtered off the Twa natives that were little black people. That's where they got the idea of the leprechauns. You're absolutely right. So now y'all jogging my memory. So the Twa natives were known for their magical spiritual knowledge. And like white people do, they go and twist things around to benefit them. And then, you know, white corporations especially turn around and make a profit off of that. And people running around in green, drinking green beer and all that other stuff. And Thunder says, yes, in Houston, there are a lot of snakes like the rattlesnakes and water moccasins, or the other name for them is cotton mouth. I don't see none of them no more. The Pioneer says, I don't know what people who wish to survive a nuclear war expect future to look like after it. Surviving for what type of living would you have? Eating rats, dodging zombie mutants? That's just take me on out of here too.
Yeah, you're gonna have a lot of mutants. Yeah.
Eef. Dale says rapture is fake and he is not going to rapture up no racist people, right? And Mary says they slaughtered all those dodo birds. They love wiping out entire populations of animals and people. You ain't lying. Martin says, as we speak, I'm drinking me some beautiful beer that's green, looking at my wonderful leprechauns full of gold. It's my business, and I don't. He says, Demetra, what do you not like about St. Patty's Day? Well, I hope that you heard me say that. I mean, it's not even really an issue of me liking it or not. It's just something that I don't partake in. Yeah, so.
Yeah, and Mary Bell, you brought up, there was an article on Lisa Cabrera's channel. They're going to be slaughtering 5.3 million chickens. And I forgot what the reason was, but like I have to agree with you. They do slaughter these animals in just waves and droves. Now think about this. I don't know if the 5.3 million chickens are diseased or not, but diseased or not, if we're going to be having a food shortage, why would you slaughter a potential? I'm very sure you could do something else with those chickens. You see what I'm saying? It's like you're cutting the food supply straight out.
Right. You better, hey, God bless the child as God is on. And Moni also says 73 on YouTube is a great gentleman that teaches you how to grow your food and how to properly plant your plants for your food. I love this guy, handsome, and he doesn't look like he's in his 60s. Sexy. Okay, I have to check him out. Pioneer says even the original people of Greece and Rome were black. Yes. And Kevin says master off the grid living, grow your own food. And a lot of people don't think about that, right? I mean, if it comes down to it, I mean, what are you going to do, right?
Right. And you got to think about this right now. If you haven't ordered yourself some solar panels, portable solar panels, what are you going to do? I mean, how are you going to have light late at night, you know, when the grid is off? Yeah. What happens when the candles are all, you know, messed up? You know, I mean, you got to think about stuff like that.
Right. And let's see here. And Shawnee say bird flu. And the Pioneer says the Smurfs were Germanic version of Irish leprechaun, small black, original black people who lived in Germany before the Caucasians came over. Thunder says, remember family, homestead, heart, and tea, has fun, and learn how to can. We will probably need this soon. Yes, I'm going to do that tomorrow. Go on their channels and learn how to do that. And Studios, how you doing? You say destroying the food supply on purpose. Yes, indeed. Moni says, Demetri, I hope that you will do All Girls Week and have great different guests from Sister Julia to Africa Tigress to come on, give some different perspectives and point of view. Yes, I have to get familiar with them. I don't know who they are, but I will. Yeah, I know I'm gonna do a lot of stuff. Eventually, I get around to it. It'll just be so busy. And Arneva says, go vegan. You know what? Let me speak on that really quick. I was vegan for 7 years, from 2014 up until recently. But I started eating chicken recently. But I said by my birthday, I'm going to go back to being full vegan. I started eating chicken because I'm weightlifting and stuff. And I was having a hard time getting my protein. And there were certain foods I couldn't eat, but it seems like I can eat them now. So I'm going to go back. But you're absolutely right. Being vegan is the best option for a whole host of reasons. And Brother Jonell says, reality is, we are all in various wars being sold. Things are normal. All would be wise to move with God, like Denzel character in the book of Eli. Stock up, stay aware, stay prepared, invest your revenue in land, silver, substance, etc. America is those whom embrace it, is in their swan song right over left 13. Also eat less, fast more, exercise, give yourself the best, but know what the best is. I love it. Very good advice. And Alvin is learning. How you doing? It says avian bird flu.
I think he meant Asian bird flu with the chickens.
He meant it's called, yeah, that's what it's called. Avian bird flu with the chickens. Cannot eat them. Yeah,
but you can use them for fertilizer. That's for damn sure.
I mean, wouldn't they get into the fertilizer that goes into your food or something like that? I don't know. And Thunder says, if you want a solar generator, go Rock Pals or Blue Eddy. Okay. And I'll put that up. So y'all putting up this good old information here. And the Pioneer says, before the show ends, I don't remember, Brother Donovan, did you talk about the situation at City Hall yet? I'm going to give him a chance. I'm going to read these comments and we'll let him do that. And Studio, he says, vegan is not good. The brain needs meat to be smart. Okay. My doctor actually told me that. He says you need to eat a little meat every once in a while. He said it's not going to hurt you. So I don't eat it all the time, but just sometimes. And Thunder says, and the cheap way to get info is half price books. Get books just in case the internet and the power goes out. Oh, yes, I love my books.
You can get a lot of books at the thrift store for little or nothing.
Yep, you're absolutely right about that. And Kevin says, look into the nutritionarian. I know I said the wrong diet. It's vegan, but aligns with Genesis 1:29. Okay, and the Pioneer says sometimes we need a major disaster like a nuclear war to reset the planet and erase the bad blood. And Moni says, Donovan, when young man had his dreads cut while being a wrestling match, there was no civil rights that came for the school that did that in Minnesota. That's is under number 45 to be.
Yeah, no, that's not true. The family did sue under discrimination, the Federal Discrimination Act, whatever it was, and they're still in litigation to this very day.
Yep. Jeremy has awakened. How you doing? He says certain farmers are not paid to farm. They kill chickens, cows, and release hundreds of thousands of milk on the ground. The newest example is when Trump touted paying the farmers millions. And Pioneer says, I don't know if meat is necessary, but I know I tried to become vegetarian and it made my muscles twitch after a few days. So I went back to eating meat. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, people should do what's best for them. So Donovan, quickly, what happened to you, brother? What happened?
Okay, here's what happened to me. You guys know I do a lot of political stuff, especially in my town. So I was invited via internet, whatever, word of mouth, to go and cover a district event that had candidates. Now, this event was hosted by a women's club, and they invited the public. They said, the public is invited. Now, here's what you guys don't understand. Here's what a lot of people don't understand about their rights. Please, you guys, go. If you don't know your rights, go and read the first, especially if you're Black, up and at least until the 15th Amendment. Read to the 15th Amendment. So you got basic rights there. Now, when you open your venue up to the public, your rights don't stop at a door, okay? If it's a private club, private property, if I'm at your house and you invited me to come in, even though you invited the public, you can't just say, okay, well, I want you to go. I would have to break your rules or your laws. So they didn't want me to film in the venue. Now, this is a political gathering. Why wouldn't you want people to know about political candidates? Yes, they have a right to ask me to leave and stuff if I've broken rules, but one thing that you cannot criminalize is your constitutional rights. So if you guys go to my channel on YouTube or even on Facebook, I put the video up and it's clear cut that there was a Bain Act violation going on. What a Bain Act violation is when somebody intentionally tries to stop you from enjoying your constitutional rights. The minimum fine in a court for a Bain Act violation is $25,000. And basically, the lady tried to stop me from doing this. This lady is a Navy veteran, and she used the American flag to block my camera, which is a Bain Act violation. And I told her so. In the midst of her doing that, the flag fell and it hit me in my head and it fell to the ground and I was injured. Another thing is, if somebody asks you to leave a venue, you ain't got to leave until the police get there. So by them calling, it's going to make you stay longer. And remember, they asked me to leave and I respectfully declined. And then let me tell you something. They described me as a disruptive Black man. Oh my God, he's doing this and doing that. You know, the same tropes that they would use. And let me tell you, the police came in hot, hands on, ready to go. And they tried to tell me to leave because they wanted me to bow down to their authority. But the police do not have any authority over you unless you are arrested. And I explained to them what was going on, which I didn't have to do, but I put them in check. The video is up on my Facebook page. It's also up on YouTube. You guys check it out. Demetra saw it, and Demetra was like, yeah, put that Negro under the jail.
Yes, indeed. So yeah, Donovan was assaulted by some older, she bearers. I'll say that. And so yeah, that is going to litigation. And yeah, I told them put the white man on them like they did on you. I mean, they don't have a right to do what they did to you. So we are gonna keep you guys abreast of the situation. And let's see here before we get out of here. Thunder said somebody gave that noggin a flogging, yeah, with a flagpole on top of that. And Cultural Gardening, Lisa, how you doing? Say hi to Mitra and everyone. Lead Farmer 73 channel is a good channel. This brother shares knowledge on gardening, canning, solar generator, survival kits, and more. And do you also have a gardening channel? If so, I would like to ask everybody to go over there and follow her channel because we need these things, you guys. So check it out. And the Pioneer says, when someone tells me I should follow this diet or that diet for healthy, long life, I look at them, how healthy they are and how long they live. If that didn't work for them, then yeah, I guess that's pretty logical, right? Jeremy says, Donovan, what's your YouTube channel? And I actually put Donovan's information in the description box, his YouTube channel. So you go in the description box and click on the link and you should be able to go to his page. And Sean says, laugh out loud. What? Wow, be safe, bro. Exactly. And the Pioneer says, Brother Donovan, you must have forgot about the I'm white and I say so law, right?
But this was some sisters. These were some Goonie Bird sisters.
Damn.
And the one that hit me was a Navy veteran. She was a Navy veteran. My mom, basically, well, not my mom, a person I would describe as a label hoe because she's into her title. I'm doctor. She wants to be referred to as Dr. Denise Fleming. In the United States, we don't acknowledge titles like that because that's why we don't have kings and dukes and earls. If you are a medical doctor, different. Dentist, different. Outside of that, we don't acknowledge no damn titles around here.
Absolutely. And Moni says, Demetri, do you ever show racism and injustice that goes on? I'm sick of these elected officials here in Michigan not doing their doggone jobs and would love to show you more videos. Let me know. I mean, I do it all the time, but you know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm kind of sick of covering it. Not that because, you know, I don't believe it exists. I believe it exists, but I think right now the ball is in our hands and we just won't use it, right? We keep voting for oppression, voting for the same people. And so it's like, what do you expect? Not you in general, Moni, but I'm just saying, you know, what do we expect? If we keep voting for the same thing, we're going to get the same thing. So we need to do something different and we need to start moving as a unit so we can solve some of the problems that we have ourselves, right? And Jeremy, you say, the lead farmer 73, like the bullet lead. Okay. And Thunder says, Don, how old is she? They're yeah, so like you said, they're 61 and 65. So they old. They right up your alley, actually, Thunder. And the Pioneer says, many of these so-called rights and laws aren't worth the paper they're written on. It's only paperwork. It's really about who has the power and authority to enforce the law.
Yeah, but you know, if you guys get a chance, go look at the video and watch how I stand down the police officer. They didn't know what to do. There's a 5-foot Mexican female. She came in like she was just the shit. I had to de-escalate her. And then the other guy, have you guys noticed that all these officers' name is named right here? When you ask them what their name is, right here. So they're all related. So again, know your basic rights because it'll go a long way.
Absolutely. And on Eba, says, I'm the Duke of Earl. Okay, well, I'm the Queen of Sheba. And Jeremy says, got it. Thanks, big brother. And Curtis, how you doing? He says, old people are the keepers of the recipes for the best sweet potato pies. No, but seriously, community was built around grandma's and auntie's kitchen and grandpa's garage and barbecue pit. Yes, indeed. And we need to soak up that information before it leaves here with them, right? It's just the way it goes. And Thunder, you're laughing. And Pioneer says, I try to tell some of these Moorish brothers this who go around quoting the law and talking about sovereign citizenship as if that keeps the cops from yanking them out the car with their kids crying. Yeah, it's like, that sounds cute. And I guess in maybe some respects you're right, but you don't have no rights as a black man or woman in America. So act accordingly or otherwise you're going to have some pretty janky stuff go on, right?
Yeah, and if you really think about it, police are sovereign citizens. They believe they're above the law. So if a cop ever asks you, are you a sovereign citizen? You reply to them, no, you are.
Yes, indeed. So Jeremy says, yes, yes. And Thunder says, also, you can sweet potatoes. All right, y'all. So we are at the end of the show. Love and appreciate y'all for being here. We are about...
Well, let me just interrupt.
Sure.
The end result of this is a bunch of litigation is coming down. I'm suing 3 entities, the club, the 2 hags, criminally and civilly. So it's going down. So if you guys see me in Vegas with the biggest stripper party ever, you're all invited.
Well, thank you. Curtis says, man, don't acknowledge modern women anymore because any attention you give, like a hello, is twisted into a pickup line. It's like, well, excuse the hell out of me. Oh my God. Conversation for a whole nother day. And Sunlight says, I saw that video, Donovan. Stay out of trouble, laugh out loud. Yes, indeed, y'all. So we're about to get out of here. We love and appreciate y'all for being here as always. You guys add so much to the conversation. But again, we thank y'all for that. Donate often to the show. We love and appreciate you. And we also have a Cash App, Venmo, PayPal at the end of the screen, at the bottom of the screen. If you guys would like to donate to this channel, every little bit helps that you donate does help, as we do have some costs for the channel. I have to pay some people in order to help us keep this going. But you know, just you guys being here, liking the video and subscribing, that helps too. And if you can think about it, maybe become a member. So anyway, y'all, we love and appreciate y'all. Thank you, Donovan, for being here. Thank you, Marcus Guyton, for everything that you do behind the scenes at YouTube and Facebook, the other side of the conversation. You guys are always so dope. So we will see you guys next Sunday, same time. And of course, we have the podcast during the week, and I make videos during the week as well. Go check out the African Diaspora News channel if you haven't already. And of course, Donovan's channel, Donovan Saadiq, where he's always got something going on over there. So anyway, y'all, see y'all later. Peace.